Hank just dropped.
Okay, have a shot at. We'll get him back in here. And okay, let's go back to Lynx 1 or Lynx 2. Excuse me, Lynx
Hank
2.
is good now.
What's that?
Hank is good now.
All right, let's go back to Hank. My bad. Let's go back to Hank. Kind of some bad cell coverage here. So he's about 3 miles north and east of that. Hank, when you look back to your southwest, what do you see? Go ahead.
Yeah, David, I can't see anything right now. I've dropped south on Cemetery Road from Highway 37, trying to get through these trees to get a clearing back here. I can tell the just right almost to me, so we should be either feeling the winds or seeing this base or any possible circulation here. And just hang on, coming through. Yeah, I can't see anything. It's just it's a big rain core here and a rain base. So right here, I'm going to stop. You can look to the south. Oh, there it is, right here.
Hank?
Right here, I got it.
Hank, what do you got?
I've got a rain-wrapped wall cloud. Give me just a second. Let me get off the road here. So due west of my position, I've got a little small funnel with it coming down. Do you see the funnel, Patty? Right next to that pole. So.
Yep. Okay, we lost his shot. Hank, we lost.
Okay, I'm sorry. Cemetery and Rock Creek Road.
Yeah, that's it.
We lost the shot. Patty will get it back here in just a second.
Yeah.
So I am at Cemetery and Rock Creek Road looking due west. I've got a little small wall cloud that's wrapped up in the rain. Oh, no, tornado is on the ground.
Okay.
I've got a tornado on the ground.
Let's go back to Hank's shot. Hank's shot. Let's go back to Hank's shot.
Right here to the left, Patty. Right here. It's right here to the left of that telephone pole.
Oh, there it is.
It's right here.
A pretty good-sized cone.
There's a tornado.
It's on the ground right now.
Tornado on the ground. There it is, right there, folks. Tornado. It's wrapped in rain, but we can still see it. Okay, tornado on the ground, right here, only on News 9. There's your tornado. Hank, take it. Go.
I'm about 2 miles southwest or south of Highway 37. So I am at about Rock Creek Road and Cemetery Road, just a little bit north of Rock Creek. This tornado is to my west, southwest, and it looks like to me that it's almost stationary. It might be moving a little bit to the northeast, but it's almost stationary. You can see that a pretty well-defined cone. It's not a huge tornado, but it is a sizable enough tornado that's just to the left. Oh, now it's starting to move north, starting to pick up speed.
Yeah, it's moving now.
2.5 miles southwest
yeah,
of
it's
Tuttle.
turning due north.
Okay. All right,
Yeah,
Hank.
so this is going to come in.
Southeast of
I'm
Tuttle.
sorry, go ahead.
Southeast of
No,
Tuttle.
hang on, Hank. We're going to go back to radar. Stay with it. It's moving almost due north. Tornado's on the ground. And, folks, this is going to be 2.5 miles southeast of you folks in Tuttle. Let's go ahead and lapse this. Let's see what the movement is right now. Tornado on the ground right here. It's lifting north right now. If it stays on its present,
What is the next,
on its
next
present,
road west at me?
again, speed and line of fire here, it's going to go east of Tuttle. But if you live east of Tuttle, safe spot, lowest level, center part of the house, interior bathroom, don't panic, just go. You got to go. If you live in or east of Tuttle, this is going to be Frisco Road. This is Frisco, folks. This is Highway 37. It's going to cross 37 here in the next 5 minutes as it moves from south to north. There's the tornado. There's the tornado. Hank Brown has it. Hank and Patty have it in the tornado in their shot. And again, there's Frisco. There's Tiger Safari. It just barely missed Tiger Safari. Let's go back to Hank. Hank, you're on. Let's go back to Hank's shot. Tornado does continue. We'll get a storm track. There's the tornado on the ground. Do we see anything in debris detector? Go ahead, Hank. Take it.
I can see it on the ground, David. There's a well-defined cone about 3/4 the way to the ground, and that's what you're seeing in that shot. But I can see the condensation going all the way to the ground. I don't see any debris lifted up. However, I see quite a few homes in between me and this tornado. So it's going to be, give or take, right about Frisco Road, a mile or so south or 2 miles south of 37. Looks like it's lifted off the ground now. So you can, Patty, back out just a little bit. So you can see there that big bowl-shaped lowering now is still there. But I do not see condensate all the way to the ground. However, these are wrapping rain curtains around this. I can see about a mile worth of wrapping rain curtains. And so we've got to say that this is still on the ground. And, folks, here's the thing about this. You're not going to see it until you're right up underneath it. I was like a mile and a half away from it, and I couldn't see it until it finally popped out of that wrapping rain. So it looks like it's actually lifted now. I still see quite a bit of rotation. It's kind of drifting to the north. It's not moving that fast. It's kind of drifting to the north, and it's going to be somewhere probably Frisco Road. I am looking due west from Cemetery Road. I'm looking due west at it. It's moving north towards Highway 37, and it's starting to come back down to the ground again. Here we go. Yeah, it's coming back down to the ground again.
Okay,
so
here it is. All right,
it took a little recycle.
Right, there it
now
is.
It's coming back down.
Let's go back to radar here. Let's
Yeah.
control room keep his shot up. There it is. There's Hanks. There's a tornado. We've had it live only on News 9. There's the tornado right here. There's the Tuttle High School. It's a mile and a half east-southeast of the Tuttle High School. Remember, it's wrapped in rain. You can see it a little bit, but like Hank said, when it's coming to your house from the south, you're not going to see it. All you're going to do is hear it, which is a bad problem, right? That's not where you want to be. There's the tornado. Okay, so it's now crossing Rock Creek Road, which is County Road 1200, okay? County Road 1200. It's still south of 37. It's right here. Hank's looking off to his west, which is right here. It's going to cross 37. There's the tornado right there, lifting off to the north. Let's go to Links 3. We're going to do a storm track, and we're taking it almost due north. Mustang at 734, okay? It's right here. Mustang is, I know it's out of the east. We've given you plenty of leeway in here, plenty of room. The old Xerox plant, 756. Yukon, 8 o'clock. Banner, 807. Wiley Post, it is still south of 37, but it's lifting north, okay? There's your storm track. If you live in Yukon, Banner, down to Tuttle, safe spot, you got to go now. Center part of the house, lowest level. Okay, let's go back to Links 2. There's the tornado, clearly sticking out at you like a bullseye. Hank's right there. It looks like it has lifted. It looks like we still have a funnel from time to time, but the tornado has lifted. Anything in debris detector at all? Nothing at all showing up?
Let me take a look while I'm looking for that.
There it is.
Let's see.
It might have. Okay, right, maybe right there. No, it's.
Yeah, it's still not showing up.
No.
So if you
But
take
we
a
know
look
it's on the ground.
On Links 1, David, that's where we have the high-res data, the mapping, where you can actually see the homes in that area just north of where that tornado has been. So it's moving definitely into a much more highly populated area as it looks towards Highway 37.
Okay, so here's the tornado, right? Here's the tornado. It's right here. And this is going to be State Highway 37. There's Tuttle. You can see all the neighborhoods. This is high-res. And this is all new data. You can see all the neighborhoods that have gone in here and all the places. So there's a lot of homes in here. And this is high-res data, and this is going to be lifting right into that, a much higher populated area with that tornado. Let's go back to Hank and get an update from Hank, and it's now coming up on 37. Hank, it's kind of a big, fat cone rotating, but here's the deal. Give me an update. It doesn't look like it's on the ground, but what do you think? Can you see anything on the ground there?
David, I can't. It looks like it's weakened to me in the last several minutes. I'm going to back this shot out just a little bit. That area right there, that bowl is still where the circulation was, but it really looks like it's lifting to me, which may mean that it's going to cycle a little bit to the east and northeast. But right now, I do not see it on the ground. We are looking right at it. I'll have Patty zoom back in on that. And I do not see it on the ground, and it looks like the wall cloud has gotten significantly smaller. It is still south of 37. It's still about Frisco and Rock Creek, somewhere around for everybody that knows where the Smokin' Joe's Rib Ranch is on 37, it's just southeast of that. And it's kind of drifting north at a snail's pace, but it looks like to me that it is not on the ground at this moment. And it really looks like it's dying. I am starting to get a little bit of better visibility with it because it's not as near as pronounced as it was. There's a little bit of sunlight backlighting it. I don't see it on the ground at this moment, and really, it does not look as near as impressive, obviously, as it did, a few minutes ago. But it doesn't even look like it's ready to tornado at the moment. It looks like a dying updraft to me that's getting skinnier and skinnier, David.
Hank, great job. And Hank and Patty had the tornado live only on News 9. This is what's left of that. This is still spinning and lifting, but it looks like there may be a little bit of condensate trying to reach down, but that is a dying mezzo. Will it cycle to do it again? This is going to tighten up. This might try to tighten up and try to produce another tornado, but we'll show you some of that video coming up. Again, look at the rainfall in here. We've got rain. That's a problem, but that is quickly going away. It looks like a helix here trying to spin down. All right, let's go to Jim Gardner. He's up top, and Jim's down here farther south, and he's looking at this right here off to his west. And let's go to Jim Gardner up top. And Jim, I know it's hard to see. Circulation is going to be, Lacey, it was to his southwest. Am I not?
Yeah, his GPS just updated.
Okay, all right. Greg, it's going to be to his southwest on I-44. So, Jim Gardner, if you can hear me, you need to drop south just a little bit there. There it is. Keep going right there. Boom. There it is. There, that's the next dangerous storm. Go ahead, Jim. Look at that. That is impressive. That is the next mesocyclone. Go ahead, Jim.
That's right, David. Like I said, that's right on 44. We're kind of at this spur here. Let me say it's going to be Highway 4 that's going to the north, and that's going to be 44 that you're looking at that runs east and west. That is the next one, David. This is the one that we're kind of worried about right here. We rolled up on it. The other one, is just too rain-wrapped and too much rain for us to get in there and take a look at it. At one point, we thought we saw the back of the wall cloud, but this one is sitting right over 44, just west of Highway 4 here. And we're really watching this one, David. It is very low to the ground. It's a huge wall cloud. Right now, it's not in the rain or anything. It's kind of in the open right now. So there's not too much cloud to ground lightning with this yet. But as you can see, the traffic on 44 there coming eastbound. So again, we're coming up on this day. We're going to keep track of it. We're going to keep you informed. Jim Garforn live for Bob.
As long as he's not in any rain, he's fine. Okay, all right. Great job there, Jim. Looking good. Now, that's the wall cloud on the next storm down the line. The northern storm has weakened. We're still watching it. Jim, hang on a second. Let's go back to Gardner. Hey, Jim, zoom in right here. Jim, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Right here, right here, right here. Okay, hang on a second, folks. Okay,
yeah, David, that might be some condensation coming up off the ground.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Jim, okay, there it is. Jim, here we go. Here we go, Jim.
There we go, David.
There it is, Jim.
6 miles to the southwest of Bridge Creek, moving up I-44 towards Bridge Creek right now.
Okay.
Tornado warning for Bridge Creek.
Okay, there we go. So new tornado warning now for this storm. Jim's right there. And, man, I'm glad we went back to that. Okay, that's how quickly that changes. And here we go. It's trying to condensate all the way down. Here we go. Jim, zoom in on that. Have Rich zoom in on that. That's it right there.
Yeah, it's right there, David. I can see the condensate on the ground, David.
Oh, you can?
We're rolling up just to the east of it here. But this whole thing is turning. That's just a small finger, David. This whole thing is turning here. So this could develop into a very large tornado drop down. But that was a small tornado right there. It's kind of went back up. Now that whole thing right there is turning. And like I said,
wow,
it is sitting right over 44 west of Highway 4 there. And like I said, we're sitting in a good spot. We're starting to get some rain coming up around it here, David. But again, this is not something to play with right here. We're in a good spot. We'll keep tracking it. Back to you, David.
Okay, all right. Great job, Jim. Jim, stay out of the rain if you can. You might need to back just a little bit, pull back a little bit so we get you out of that rain. And Jim, if it does anything at all, Greg, if Jim sees anything at all that gets nutty, gets weird, please get back with me as soon as possible. We're watching it. This is it right here. Let me show you where this is on radar. Let's go back to links 2. That's it right here. That's what Jim's looking at. This is going to be the next tornado. The tornado warning that we had earlier, that's died. That's gone. So there is no longer, right now, there's no longer a risk of a tornado with a northern storm. It's wind and hail. Now we're going back to this, okay? This is going to be a News 9. This is it, News 9 tornado warning. We have Jim Gardner shot. There's your hook right there. There's your lowering. And Jim's had at least 1 or 2 brief tornadoes on the ground with that. And that's your tornado now. It's going to cross I-44. It's going to try, or it's going to ride up I-44. If you live in Bridge Creek, center part of the house, you folks in Bridge Creek, how many times over the last 30 years have we said your name? I get it. Lowest level, center part of the house, if you live in Bridge Creek. This is a bigger mesocyclone. This is a stronger mesocyclone. And this is why I'm a little more concerned. The one up north, I was concerned about it, but it was smaller. This is a bigger storm. That is gone. That's the first tornado that Hank and Patty had. Here comes the next one now. And Brandon's coming in from the south. Let's go take a look at this. Let's zoom on in. Take a look at our roads here. This is Bridge Creek. There's your tornado. And we have it in your shot there, right? This is going to be County Road 1250 is north, and it's crossing now County Road 1270 and north-south County Road 2940. There's your tornado. I'm going to hold my finger here. Let's go ahead and take a look at shear rate. See what we have. Boom, right where it should be. It's going to Bridge Creek. We'll get a storm track on that, Cassie. We'll take a look. That's going, if it stays like it is, it's going to get a Bridge Creek. But look what's happened today so far. These have occluded, and they've lifted north. Look at the hook now.
Storm track is ready on 3 if you need it.
Okay. All right. So there's your tornado. There's your tornado. Jim Gardner's there. We have Brandon coming in from the south. A new storm, tornado warning. You guys see that south?
Yes, that's the one we're showing you right now.
Okay.
The Val is on. And David, there's a hook developing over Yukon. That storm is still weak. There's no rotation that you can see on radar, but there is a hook developing over Yukon with hail coming into North OKC.
Okay, let's go to Valcaster now, and then we're going to, okay, folks, now pay attention. If you live in Oklahoma City, south or southwest of the metro, look at that. That's a problem. Wow, Valcaster, you are live, you are hot. Take it. It looks like tornado is imminent. Go ahead. Let's go to Val. Do we have Val?
Okay, so David, if you can see our shot right there, I know we're in a lot of trees. This wall cloud has gotten bigger and lower.
Oh, he's breaking
and
up.
rotation is getting stronger. If you can hear me right there, it's just to our northeast, and we are, I'm going to hit the wipers. This wall cloud, David, it's getting lower and lower and lower. I think that there's a pretty good chance this thing is going to produce a tornado pretty soon. So we're just about maybe 1.5 miles southwest of it. We're turning east right now. We're trying to get right back under it again. And there is strong RFD that we're noticing also where we're at. So all these signs point to this thing is really getting strong. And we can there's a lot of trees over here, but there it is right there. There's your big wall cloud. It's rotating. Nothing on the ground. I can see it.
In a real bad sail area. We'll get back with him coming up here. All right, so that's this storm here. There's the hook on that. Val and Amy are right there, folks. And let's go ahead and lapse this. Here's Ninnekah. There's where the circulation is, right there. Val's right there looking right at it. That's going to head northeast. It's going to go just northwest of Ellick. That's going to Dibble. Okay, we'll get a storm track on that as well. Okay, let's go back to the northern storm. So tornado warning there. We have 2 tornado warnings and 2 potential tornadoes about ready to happen, right? This is already produced. The northern storm produced, the one that Hank and Patty Brown were on. Now we have this one down here, and this is the one that Jim Gardner's on. There's the hook on that. That's getting more impressive. And you can see it in Jim's shot. And then we have Valcaster on the storm down to the south. Okay, let's go to Jim Gardner. Let's bring Jim in. Tornado warning for you folks in Bridge Creek. It's headed to Bridge Creek, and then after that, it's coming into the southwest metro. It's coming into the southwest metro. Let's take it. Go ahead, Jim Gardner. You're all over it. Go.
Well, that's right, David. I'm at County Road 1442 and County Road 1270 shooting back to the west. It's kind of ragged right now, but David, you can tell by our shots we have wrapping rain curtains underneath this. So there's a lot of motion with this, David, a whole lot of motion. Like I said, it's kind of ragged right now. I think it's just cycling back around. But at any time, and it's very low to the ground, at any time this could tighten back up. You can see how ragged it is. But let's go back to the right. Let's go back to the right. Keep going right. Keep back. Let's go back to the right. Let's go back to the right. Keep going right. Keep going. We got a large cigar cloud, David, starting to form in this thing. Keep going. You'll see it over there. Yeah, there you go. We're starting to get a large cigar cloud. I'm starting to get more inflow from the east going into this. So we're in a good spot, Dave. We'll keep you updated. Jim Garpoint live for Bob Mills, Scotty's 9. Back to you.
All right, Jim. Yeah, tornado warning continues with that storm, and it has a very pronounced, deep mesocyclone from here all the way up 50, 60,000 feet. Big storm. And again, that is headed to Bridge Creek, right? That is a big storm in here. There are areas, the whole thing is spinning. What's going to happen is you'll get an area that'll localize, it'll tighten up in one area. This is the right side of the wall cloud. There's the left side from Jim. And what you'll get is a little tighter area, whether it's on the right side or possibly back in here. So it's localized earlier. Jim had at least 1, if not 2, brief tornado touchdowns with that. We'll see if it doesn't tighten up again, and we'll do this whole thing all over with. Okay, great job, Jim Gardner. Let's go back to links 2, and that's that area of spin. Notice it has weakened some.
David,
as it's. All right, let's go back to Jim Gardner, and there it is right there. That's how fast that happened. I said it was going to tighten up, probably localize, and it did. Let's go back to Jim. Go ahead, Jim, take it.
Yeah, that's right, David. It is just now starting to tighten up. In fact, I can see the condensation on the ground, but it is really trying to tighten itself up here, David. And it may do it a couple of times here, cycle around before it really drops one. But here you can see that motion in there, David. It is really starting to tighten up here. I'm pretty much in the same place I was at County Road 1270 that runs east and west there that you're looking at right at the bottom of your screen there. But yeah, David, it's still trying it. It's really trying to get to the ground here, and there's a lot of motion. It is getting faster as I'm looking at it, David. So again, don't toy with this one. This could possibly turn into a very large tornado, David. Jim Garpoint live for Bob Mills, Scudder's 9, back to you.
Okay, you can see obviously the rotation here, and I'm looking on the ground, but see, when you look down here, see the rooftops? You see neighborhoods and homes and ranches and things like that, okay? So, and again, a tornado, if it's over halfway to the ground from the base to the ground, it's considered a tornado. It's called the half-down rule. To me, that's over halfway down, but we're looking for condensate on the ground. Look at all the rain we have in here. This is what we call a dirty tornado. You've got rain wrapped in around it. You've got rain kind of obscuring the tornado itself, but it's right here, and it's tightening up. Now we're getting what looks like a double helix here, something on the backside, trying to wrap around. So great job, as always, by the man talking about Jim Gardner. All right, wow, look at that. Okay, let's go back to links 2, and wow, there's a lot going on. I mean, things are changing so quick. I'm telling you.
While you're looking at that, David, I mentioned earlier,
it's right here.
There was a hook over Yukon. That's really weakened. There's nothing threatening right now. Piedmont, maybe some quarter-size hail. Yeah. But as far as rotation goes, yes, it's that storm down there and the one that Val's been on to the southwest. So that's what we've been watching throughout the last 5 minutes. David, back to you.
All right, great job there, Lace. Okay, good job. Okay, so Lace, let's go back into Canadian County and take a look at that. It's exactly what you were talking about here. Let's jump back up in here real quick, and then we'll jump back south here. All right, so this up here is weakened some. We still have a hook west of Piedmont, and they're going to have some hail coming into Piedmont right now. That's lifting from south to north, and we're looking at the other storm down here. Brandon's on that, Brandon Wells. He's one of our storm trackers from Tulsa, and that's going to be coming into Deer Creek right now. Going to have some hail with that. Nothing too crazy as far as big hail. Okay, so there's some good news. But this thing is, again, spinning right here, right over Yukon. Now, the other storm, this is the one that Hank had the tornado warning on and had the tornado with that. That's now weakening as well as it approaches I-40. Still severe. Winds 50, maybe 60 miles per hour, nickel and dime size hail. Okay? All right, so let's jump back here to what's going on down to our southwest. And area of spin is right here. It's right there. There's where Sequoia's there. Hank's coming in from the north. I see Hank's shot. And I see, let's see, there's Jim's shot. And I tell you what, hey, Justin. Hey, Justin, we need to get Hank. Hank needs to be sliding off. He needs to be kind of moving here so we can see this. He's all stuck in rain. We need to get him a little farther. Take the spur.
Okay.
If he needs to, or get on 44, but he needs to get out of that rain.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So this is that hook. Let's go a little farther south and take a look at Val's hook. Remember, these are all coming into Oklahoma City, okay? Moore, Norman, South Oklahoma City. I'll give you the timeline coming up. This is Val's storm, tornado warning with that. And what does Val have? I see his area of spin. Let's bring Val back in here. It's going to be southeast of Ninnekah. Let's bring Val back in. Val, give us an update. We can hear you now, hopefully a little better than last time. Go ahead. Circulation southeast of Ninnekah. Okay. Go.
Yeah, so we had no roads that stayed under the wall cloud, so we had to go north a little ways into the core. So we are in the core now, but we can still faintly see the wall cloud. It is definitely still there, definitely big. We're going to come out in just a minute, probably right under the wall cloud in about 3 or 4 minutes.
There's another area now.
Northeast. The storm is wrapped up. Back to you.
Okay, he was hot.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Val.
No, you're fine.
Another area south of Mustang that we're watching there, south of Brandon Wells, David, that's come up some in just the last little bit.
All right. Let's jump back in here. Okay. Let's go back to links 2. And, okay, so here's the big view. There's Jim. All of our trackers are out. And, okay, so I want to point out, as far as, like, Oklahoma City to Will Rogers, this storm, the West Metro, it is severe. Going to have a little bit of wind and hail with that.
Hank has a visual now.
All right, let's go to Hank. Let's go back to Hank. I want to see what Hank's seeing in his shot. And, okay, there it is. He got out of that. Great. That's what I was wanting to see. Hank, you're looking right at it now. Go ahead. Give us an update.
Yeah, hang on a second. I'm trying to get off the road here without having a wreck. So I am right here at the spur, the Bridge Creek spur. and I am looking kind of southeast-ish, and right there you can see that whole wall cloud. We just had a funnel with it, a bell-shaped funnel, but I don't see any lowering at the moment. I've just got a lowered base. Well, you can see at the shop, it kind of tells the picture there. We've got a big base. We do have a little area spinning. Is that a funnel above us? Anyway, so yeah, we are right here at the Bridge Creek Spur. So for the folks that live here, this is right where I-44 and the spur come across. We call it the Blanchard Spur. It is right here, and it's going to head probably just to the east of Bridge Creek High School. So right now, it is just barely moving to the north, but it's barely moving to the north, but it's still south of the spur, and that's going to put it just a little bit south of Bridge Creek High School. But right now, there's two different areas of spin. I've got one that's probably right over the football field. Let me see, that might be forward flank. Right over the football field, and then there's this one right here that's just out my windshield just to the east. This is the main area of rotation. So I'm just trying to get my bearings there. These storms are kind of oriented backwards of how we normally chase them. So I'm coming through the core, and I'm starting to get RFD. That's what it is. So this thing's starting to strengthen. I'm getting RFD coming in from my north and west at about 40 miles an hour. That's wrapping right back up into this wall cloud, and you can see this has got to be a pretty well-defined wall cloud just in the couple of minutes I've been talking. So right now, folks, this is coming over the spur and 44 junction as we speak, and it's not on the ground, but you can sure see it spinning there, and it's just ever so slowly moving. I'm going to say due north is what it looks like to me right now. I do see quite a bit of rising motion in this. So for the folks that live out here, it's between KTs and I-44. So I-44 to the west. So along that spur, this area is between me and KTs, and I'm sitting on the spur. So for the folks that know, it's right over like the Blanchard Flatlands is kind of what we call it, coming out north on 76 on the Flatlands. It's just north of that. This is a very similar path of the last two tornadoes I've seen in Bridge Creek. It's just about the same path. It's coming right towards the high school. It's just not on the ground at the moment, David. Back to you.
All right, great job, Hank, and good breakdown of that. Let's go back to, shear rate. Yeah, this is what exactly you're looking at right there. And see how this looks like kind of like an onion hanging down there. Looks like cauliflower. It's kind of mean and angry looking. That is that right there. He's looking off to his southeast. He's looking down the highway here, right? He's looking down Highway 4, the spur, looking right here. This is I-44. There's the circulation right there. That is that shot right there, okay? Jim Gardner's right here, looking back at it. Brandon Pennell's right here, looking back at it. And let's go back to Jim. Let's go back to this wall cloud. And Jim's looking right back straight. Wow, look at that. Jim, it looks like it's beginning to tighten up. I'm seeing the wall cloud. I'm seeing condensate developing on the lower part of the wall cloud that's moving at a pretty good speed. What do you think, Jim, looking at it right now? Go ahead.
Well, that's right, David. I think it's all just trying to get tighter. The one we were on earlier, it kind of just dissipated, but we can see it still spinning and being pulled into this wall cloud to the front right here. Now, we're sitting right at Council Road, and H.E. Bailey Spur there is what you're looking at, 44. And it's just right there, David. And it has a tremendously long cigar cloud that is being pulled into this thing. And I mean, look at that. That's pretty impressive. It is being drawn right into this thing. And we're in a really good spot. I mean, there's a lot of motion with it. Nothing yet that we've seen on ground, but this is something not to toy with, David. I mean, at any time, this could drop a very large tornado. We'll keep you updated. Jim Garpoint live for Bob Mills. Got his 9 back to you.
Okay, that shot was pretty spectacular there. Let's see that one more time. So there's your mesocyclone. If we go to the right, there's the mesocyclone. He's talking about this is the mesocyclone. Then this feature here is what I've always called, when I was storm chasing all those years, cigar cloud. This is air being pulled in from the northeast, out of the core, back into the mesocyclone from right to left. And as you pull this air in, it begins to condensate. We get a cloud to form out of it, and this will be kind of the north side of that developing wall cloud, right? So this all comes in from the north, and you have all this coming in from the south, and right in the middle, you have your problem if you're going to have one. It's going to be right there. Nothing right in the middle, you have your problem if you're going to have one. It's going to be right there. All right, so right now we can see nothing on the ground. Tornado warning continues. There's the spur that Hank was talking about, and that is where the tornado is going to be. But again, it's not on the ground. We're looking for anything at all. See how fast that's moving back to the west there, that little piece of scud, how fast that is on the backside, is going around, and then this is moving to the right from the left. So that's your mesocyclone. To me, it looks like it's pretty much right over the spur. It's right over the highway. There's your highway. There's your spur.
Brandon's got a shot of it, too.
All right, let's go to Brandon Pendle. He's on the ground, looking right at it. He's slightly back to the east. Brandon, what do you think? Give us an update. Go ahead.
Okay, David. So this is going to be Highway 76 in the spur, looking due back to the west. From what I can tell right now, it's still probably 2 or so miles to my west, and I don't see a lot of rapid rotation by any stretch. But as we came through Blanchard and then came north, you could definitely tell that this thing was really starting to get its act together. As Jim was saying, definitely tell that this thing was really starting to get its act together. As Jim was saying, there's a huge cigar cloud that I'm sure that y'all seen in his shot. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. I would say this rotation's still fairly broad. There's not a strong tornado imminent by any stretch, but that doesn't mean that in those rain curtains over there to the left, that there couldn't be condensation on the ground and a small tornado on the ground right now. There's a lot of rapid lifting going on, and hang on one second. So just on the right side.
Come back to me for a second here. Okay, so this is what he's talking about. Let's go back to radar here. And that's right here. Okay, Jim's right here. Brandon's right here. And we have Hank on this side. Hank's coming in from the northwest side. All right, let's do a storm track. Let's go to Links 3 and take a look at this on Links 3. And we have 2 storm tracks. One on the hook right here, not on the whole storm, on the dangerous part where the tornado is going to be, and then on the tornado down here. We'll start with the north. Bridge Creek, pretty much now, pretty close to you. Newcastle Casino at 750. Orr Family Farm, 802. Norman Regional Healthplex, 803. Moore Medical Center, 807. Moore, downtown, 808. Crossroads Mall, 814. Valley Brook, 815. Del City, 823. Tinker Air Force Base, 827. And Midwest City at about 830. Now, we've widened the cone out here. We've given you plenty of space. No way are we going to do like a thin little line in here. We're going to give you plenty of room in case this thing stays on the same track. Sometimes these will turn a little bit right. Other times it will occlude and try to turn north. So we've opened up the space in here to give you and your city and your area plenty of room in here, okay? Let's drop south to the southern storm. Tornado warning on this as well. It's now northwest of Ellick, east of Ninnekah, and that's going to be in Dibble at 807, Washington 829, and how about Purcell 844, Norman again. High School a little farther south and east at 848, and Norman downtown at about 850. So that's going to be on the north side of this, all right? We'll see if this makes it all the way up there and goes right across Norman, but it's certainly going to try. So I want to point out, nothing in Logan County, Oklahoma County of any concern right now, okay? But this is definitely headed towards the South Metro, and not that fast. It's not moving that fast. And these storms are interacting with each other. Sometimes when you get storms too close together, they impede upon each other's inflow, and one will usually take over, or one might weaken, or they'll impact both of them, and maybe they just kind of hold their own. So that might be at least what's happening right now. Now, we know we've had tornadoes today. We've had at least 2 or 3 so far. Okay, so again, tornado warning with that storm, tornado warning with that storm. Okay, let's go back to Links 2, and we'll check back in with the trackers. Okay, so the hail size is in here. Here's the good news about today, and like the April 19th event we had. The tornadoes on that day were definitely stronger, and the hail sizes were bigger, and we had a lot more hail. Hail sizes so far have been very small. Nickel and hail sizes so far have been very small. Nickel and dime, there might be some quarters in here. Instability is high enough to get bigger hail, but it's one of those things. Every event is like a thumbprint. They're all different. They're all different. Even though we have much higher instability, we have shear, we have spin, we have big mesocyclones, deep mesocyclones, hail sizes so far have been on the smaller side. which is good. We'll take the rain. We do not want the hail. We do not want the hail. Okay, so Jim Gardner's right here looking back at the hook, which is right there. Let's go back to Jim Gardner, and I see the rain curtains here. Jim, oh, those are definitely rotating. Rotating rain curtains, and Jim, is that a cone? Possibly the cone developing
David,
in the center.
That's a cone that's in the center there, and we've watched these rain curtains even get more prominent and spinning faster here. So again, we haven't really seen anything on the ground yet, but the rain curtains have really picked up. You can see the motion from our shot, David, and it's right there in the center is what we're kind of focused on. But man, there's just a lot of activity going on right now with those rain curtains, David.
Yeah, right here, Jim. Right here, Jim. Right in the center. Look how fast. Look how this might be developing tornado live right here on News 9. Look at the speed of that. Look at Hank's shot as well. Let's stay with this, though, just for a second. This is starting to fold over. And I also want to point out something back here. It's going to localize again. Let's see where it localizes. Okay. Do we see condensate on the ground? This is going to be a tornado warning again. For you folks, again, Southwest Metro. I'll show you where exactly coming up. Oh, this is
right on county line.
Right on county line. Okay.
And Highway 9.
Yeah. Okay, it's right on the spur still. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Look at the motion. See the ripping? See how fast this is? There you go. Tornado developing right now. Tornado developing right now. This is going to be at county line and Highway 9. This is going to be State Highway 76, basically, and the spur. Okay, this is going to be southwest of Newcastle. Okay, tornado on the ground.
By 3.5
Jim
miles.
Gardner, take it. Tornado on the ground. Go ahead.
That's right, David. It looks like it's right over the top of the spur from my vantage point. But yeah, it's still developing the spur from my vantage point. But yeah, it's still developing, David. There's a lot of motion, a lot of rotation and it almost gets tight and it kind of falls apart like that. Then it'll come together again. But this is definitely a tornado. I haven't seen it all the way to the ground yet. Of course, the rain is starting to really obscure some of my vision. All the way to the ground yet. Of course, the rain is starting to really obscure some of my vision here. But again, there is a lot of action with this, David. And there we go. Now we're starting to tighten up again. It tightens up, then it comes apart, and then it tightens up again. And I think it's just trying, David, it's pulling in so much stuff around it. You see right to the right side of the screen, it's pulling in more and more. And this could, any time, David, really turn into a large tornado here. And I'm not sure that we don't have it on the ground right now. I've been watching to see if anything coming off the ground. I haven't seen it yet. But if we pull back real quick there, you can see the spur and you can see a highway. You can see the spur and you can see a highway. I believe it's Highway 4 there, right there. Pull back just a little bit more if you can there. And there's the intersection right there. So it's just kind of to the southwest of that intersection right now. Now it's kind of come apart again, but all the rain curtains are wrapping. Zoom in on them rain curtains, Rich. You can see how fast those rain curtains are turning, David. So again, this could drop a huge tornado at any moment here. We're in a good spot. We're going to keep you updated, David. Just stay with our picture. Jim Gardner live for Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
All right, Jim, there we go. The tornado continues, at least intermittently, on and off the ground. So we're watching that. That's that shot from Jim Gardner live on News 9. Let's go back to links 2. Let me show you where the tornado is. It's going to be right here. Here's Jim looking off to his west. It's basically over the highway. And let's see, that's going to be Hank's shot right there. Hank's had it on the ground. You can see the rotating rain curtains in Hank's shot. There's the tornado.
It's
right?
Highway 76.
Yep, and this is Highway 76. It goes north-south. There's County Line Road right here, and there's Newcastle, 3.5 miles
Hank right now.
Southwest of Newcastle. What'd you say?
It's going over Hank right now.
All right, let's go to Hank. Let's go to Hank Brown. Let's take it. Take it, Hank. It's yours. Go ahead.
David, I'm sitting in the KT's parking lot up on the hill, and we have had the vortices touchdown multiple times. We are in the wrapping rain curtain right now. You can see that lowering going just to the left. Patty's watching two little areas. We keep seeing little tornadoes spinning on this, and it's moving due east. It is right on top of Highway 9 and 76. I am sitting, like I say, in the KT's parking lot, and it's moving due east. There's right there in front of us. I got it. Oh, here it goes. Oh, we're taking some big wind. Yeah, it's on the ground again. Well, here, let me turn the truck so it don't flip us. Yeah, we're taking probably 80-mile-an-hour winds right there. It's right there in front of us.
Are you on?
It's on Highway 9. It's touching down again right here on Highway 9. You can see the wrapping rain curtains in my shot. This little vortice is going just to the south of this building, right on Highway 9. So it's missing KT. So for Tammy Romash, it is not hitting KTs at the moment.
Okay.
But you are taking big winds, and it's right on Highway 9.
Okay.
It is less than 100 yards from me, where it keeps spinning down and touching. Yeah, and it's moving due east. The other one was moving north. This one just started really moving east.
Okay.
And we're probably taking 80, 90-mile-an-hour wind. We've got some debris. Oh, I got debris in the air. Oh, it's on top of us. Film it. We've got debris in the air right here in front of us.
I see that.
Hitting us in the windshield.
Here's debris.
We are in the tornado. It's right here to the right. It's coming across the hood. Yeah,
okay,
we are in the tornado.
Right there.
I am at KT's. Tammy,
Here's
I lied
the tornado.
to you. It is hitting KT's right
Hank
now.
is in
We are in KT's. Tammy,
Here's
I lied
the tornado.
to you. It is hitting KT's right
Hank
now.
is in
We are in the tornado.
Hank is in the tornado.
We are in the tornado. Yes, we are. There's no doubt about it.
Okay.
I've got some debris coming. What was that?
Wow.
Yeah,
Hang on.
so now it's just moved just to my east. Let me reposition the truck.
Wow.
So
okay.
Let me reposition the truck.
Wow.
So
okay.
It's
a weak tornado. Let me point that out.
Wow. So right here you can see.
Okay, there goes the tornado.
Just crossed over my hood.
There it goes.
And here it goes. Wow. So right here you can see.
Okay, there goes the tornado.
Just crossed over my hood.
There it goes.
And here it goes. It's
right here.
Now it's just moved just
Power
east
lines.
of Highway 9. So it's just east of the Blanchard or the McLean County Road Barn that's on 7 or on Highway Road Barn that's on 7 or on Highway 9. It's moved just east of that. So this is coming. It might even be trying to move just a little bit southeast. So this it might even be trying to move just a little bit southeast. So this might be going back towards some of the neighborhoods that are just east of 76 and right at east of 76 and right at Highway 9. So, yeah. I'm going to try to get back out in it again. But, yeah, it didn't flip us, so it wasn't that strong. Back to you, David.
Well, that's always a plus when you go out and storm chase. You don't get flipped. It's a weak tornado. Hank was good. He recognizes the strength of the tornado at that point. It is weak, even though it went pretty much right over him. It was a broad area, and it did localize. You saw the debris in the air live on News 9, and now the tornado is right there. It's an ugly tornado as far as there's lots of rain wrapped in around it, hard to see. Okay, let's go back to Links 2, and this is what it looks like. There's the tornado. Like he said, Hank nailed it. He said it's moving off to the east. That's exactly what it's doing, if not anything, east-northeast, going right down, 250th Street?
Yeah, 350th and Southwest 24th. It's coming up to Rockwell.
Okay, coming up, Rockwell here is Southwest 24th. It's 350th, west of Highway 76. But this is Highway 9. There it is. And Timber Ridge Road, Southwest 24th, this is where the tornado's going to, okay? This is Rockwell. This is going to be Rockwell and Southwest 24th. Safe spot. You got to go now. You have about 2 minutes. You got about 2 minutes. Lowest level, center part of the house. Okay, let's back out of this. Where's it going after that? Let's back out. I'm sorry, just keep backing out here. Okay, there it is. Okay, there, it's going to Norman. It's going to Norman right now. You folks in Norman, get ready, get prepared. Safe spot, lowest level. Tornado is on the ground. Let's go back to Jim Gardner. He's looking right at it from the air. Jim, take it. It's yours. Let's go back to Jim. Looks like condensate now, just about fully on the ground. It's been on the ground, off and on. Go ahead, Jim.
That's right, David. We're on 62, just on the east side of 62, just south of Newcastle here. And it's been just kind of hanging there. And like I said, I agree with Hank. It's kind of coming more east right now. And but it's been up and down, up and down, up and down here, and the wrapping rain curtains are just staying with it. And the wrapping rain curtains are kind of out in front of it. Rain curtains are just staying with it, and the wrapping rain curtains are kind of out in front of it, and then coming around. But yeah, David, it's been up and down all the time here, man, and it's I don't know if it's going to develop into a big tornado or not. Hopefully, it'll just stay small and just touch down every now and then. But it's got the potential, David. If you go and just touch down every now and then, but it's got the potential, David. If you go back to the right here and look at this huge wall cloud that is off to the right, right here, David, as we come around here. And the last thing we want to do is have all this merge together and form one big tornado. But we're in a really good spot. Like I said, we're on 62, just south of Newcastle, tracking this thing, David. It is on the ground, off the ground, on the ground, off the ground. And with the rain curtains right now, I really couldn't tell you. It may be on the ground in there, and it may not, but there's a definitely well-defined cone as you can see that from our shot there. So we'll just keep tracking it, David. Jim Garborn live for Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
Okay, again, this is an ugly tornado. They're all ugly, but when you bring in rain and a little bit of hail wrapped in here, mainly rain, they're very hard to see. There's Highway 9. It's north of the highway. This is Highway 9. That's the spur. It's north of the highway. It's going to Norman. Norman, listen up. You don't have that long, okay? It's not a strong tornado right now. That could change. Some low-level dynamics are going to start to kick in. That could become a stronger tornado. Let's act like it is. Let's go to our safe spots. Let's do it. Let's go to the lowest level, center part of the house. Tornado warning for you folks in Norman. All right, Jim's right there. Look at the cone here. Big fat cone hanging down. All right, let's go back to links 2.
While you're looking at that,
Go ahead.
We also have a tornado warning coming for Grady County. This is for the storm near Rush Springs. The farthest storm down the line, David, has been rotating. Had reports of two different trackers in that area of it on the ground.
Okay, that's going to be the Rush.
Further south. So this is the tornado warning coming towards Norman, and then the storm farther to the south near Rush Springs also. That storm is also spinning, moving off towards the east-northeast, and we'll take a look at that here. And that storm right there. It doesn't look impressive on radar, but the rotation is there, and this is in a very favorable environment as it keeps making its way off towards the east, over towards Lindsay.
Okay, yeah, we see that. Okay, let's go back to links 2, and we'll take a look at that. And we have Tom and JD down there. And let me show you what I'm talking about here. That's that storm right here. And this is where the tornado is. Okay, let's go to velocity data here. Let's take a look. It's right here. Golly, is it in Rush Springs?
It's moving very close to just north of Rush Springs.
It's going to be just north of Rush Springs. Okay, so you folks in Rush Springs, north of town, east-northeast towards Bradley. This is going to be a tornado on the ground. We've got trackers very close to that. We will check in with them coming up. Okay, let's come back north now. We'll come back north. Let's go back to the Oklahoma City storm. And this is a much smaller storm down south. This is a much bigger storm up north. And there we go. All right, so this is the hook, big hook on this. And this has been on the ground for quite a while, at least up. It's been down. There's the circulation now coming right down Southwest 24th Street. And I do believe this is, what did we decide?
Rockwell.
Yeah, Rockwell right here. That's what we're going with.
Yeah.
Okay, and again, this is going to keep moving east-northeast. It's headed to Norman. So your tornado now, there's Timber Ridge Road, Southwest 24th. There's Rockwell. Tornado is going to be at the intersection of Rockwell and Southwest 24th. South Main is a little farther east, obviously, and that's going to be Southeast 16th Street. It's going to cross South Main. Brandon's right there.
There's a track on 3.
There's a tornado. Let's do a storm track and take a look at that, Cassie. And let's see here. Yeah, there's your tornado. Okay, so again, we've widened this out, okay? You got plenty of room in here. You're thinking, really? I live all the way up Lake Stanley Draper? Well, these things can keep moving northeast, and then it clues. Let's be safe, right? Let's not take a chance. Okay, so we're looking at Norman at 8 o'clock. West side of Norman at about 7:50. If you live west of I-35 or west or southwest Norman out near the flats, about 7:45 or 7:50. All right, we're almost there. Not that far away. It's coming into, again, the west sides of Norman now. You're almost there on the other side of the river. Downtown, talking about OU at 8:05. That's the OU campus. 8:05, okay? We're 15 minutes away. Lake Thunderbird, 8:29. Little Axe, 8:37. Pink, 8:49. So once again, tornado warning. Once again, if you have friends or family in Norman, call them, text them, whatever. Let them know. Tornado on the ground. It's been up, it's been down, but it's headed east-northeast towards Norman, towards downtown Norman, the way it's going. Or maybe it might go on the north side of Norman, but it's going to be Norman, okay? If this does not lift, Norman more than likely will have a tornado unless it weakens. All right, what's shear rate look like out of this, guys?
It's
curious.
still impressive.
Let's go back.
It's very impressive.
Links 2, there it is.
And it's going to go just south of Newcastle, south of the Newcastle High School, it looks like, but it's very close to there and across the river.
Yeah, so here's Newcastle. I mean, safe spot right now. If you live in Newcastle, south of town, east of town, Fox Lane goes over, right? West Rock Creek Road, okay? You got to go to your safe spot. You got to go there now. Okay, it's moving east-northeast. There it is. It's now south and east of downtown Newcastle. Moving east-northeast. There it is. It's now south and east of downtown Newcastle. Let's go back to Jim Gardner and take a look at Jim's shot. There's your tornado. Let's take a look at Jim's shot. And Jim, what do you think? Is the circulation on the right side of your screen there, kind of back out just a little bit here. What do you think?
Well, I don't know, David. I think it's trying to. It's just getting so rain wrapped in there. Every now and then we'd still catch sight of it, but you can see how the rain has really tightened up. Right now, I'm 5 miles southwest of Westheimer Airport here in Norman, tracking this thing. And like I said, the rain, it really wrapped up. We really can't see it. You got that wall cloud that I showed you earlier that I think was going to try to be pulled into this, and it all would come together. The tornado is in that rain that is all wrapped up right there. I can't tell you if it's on the ground or if it's up and down off the ground, but it's right in there last time we saw it. And like I said, all this rain is tightened up. But right now, I'm 5 miles, like I said, southwest of Westheimer Airport here in Norman, tracking this thing, David. And also, just real quick, we are starting to get a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning out in front of me right now. So it is still got a lot of energy, David. We'll keep tracking it. Jim Garpoint live for Bob Mills, Scotty's 9, back to you.
Okay. All right, there we go. Nice shot.
9, back to you.
Okay. All right, there we go. Nice shot. And this is probably going to be, what looks like to us, at least, a new developing wall cloud here on the right. The old mezzo was here. This might be cycling and trying to at least tighten up on this right side. Okay, so let's go back to links 2. And Brandon's right there. Let's go to Brandon Pennell. And again, Norman, can't say it enough. Norman. You've got about 15 minutes, Norman, before that circulation comes into town. Brandon, give us an update. Do you see anything on the ground right now? We don't from the chopper. Go ahead. What do you see?
So we're coming into the south side of Newcastle right now. We literally let circulation go pretty much right over the top of us. The one thing I can tell you is if this thing stays in the rain, you cannot see it until it is on your doorstep. We had a large cone back to the southwest of Newcastle probably about 10 minutes ago. Hank and I both could see it from the ground, but there's so much rain being pulled around this circulation right now. I mean, it's just completely embedded. So as it continues east into the heart of Norman, maybe, or maybe just the north side of Norman, everyone needs to take this serious because the RFD coming around the backside is probably 75 to 80 miles an hour. We're going to get north and then back east. We have to get across the river to get back in play. Back to you.
Okay, yeah, we're having a mess with that. So you got to kind of dance and prance around the rivers down there, talking about south of Norman there. So, all right, so great job, Brandon. He's getting back in position. Let's go back to links 2. And tornado warning continues for, here's the deal. The warning goes all the way into Moore, so more than likely the sirens are blowing in Moore down through Norman, and I get it. But unless it occludes, now it could though. Our storm earlier did. It occluded, or what it means it made a left turn and went right to the north. You folks in Moore, I'm watching this carefully. On its present line, it's going to North Moore and, it's going to North Norman and South Moore. It's right here, okay? It's crossed the highway. Let's go ahead and zoom on in now. It's about ready to cross the river here.
Jeremy's on the other side of the river along with Brandon Wells at I-35.
Okay. All right. What are their shots? I see Jeremy's shot.
And it's getting very close to the river now.
All right. What does Jim have? What is he looking at? I see that right here. All right. Let's keep an eye on that. There's Jim. And Jim's looking a little farther back to the southwest. We need to get Jim back to the east here. Yeah, we need to I know he's zoomed in. He's on the right side, but we need to get him a little farther back to the east, and have him fly back towards to the east just a little bit there, Greg. Okay. All right. So this is it right here. Okay. So here's Norman. Here's Heyday, and this is going to be the Norman Regional Health Plex, north side of Norman there. Sooner Mall's right here. Circulation is right here. What does a shear rate look like? Let's see what that's done. Okay, it's right here. Okay, so this is where the tornado is. Right now, it does not appear to be on the ground. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trackers on it. And we have Jim Gardner in the air. It does not appear on the ground right now, but it is still a rotating wall cloud that has produced multiple small tornadoes the last couple of hours, okay? But it's going to Norman. It's going to Norman and then in between Norman and Moore, and it looks like it's trying to occlude, which means it's going to put it a little more favorable to make it to occlude, which means it's going to put it a little more favorable to make the turn and try to head towards South Moore.
Yeah, it's definitely made a slight northerly trek now.
Yeah, right there, right as it just got east of Newcastle. It's making a little more of a turn there. So you folks in Moore, think about safe spot, lowest level. How far are we from Highway 37 up in Moore? How far are we from there to there, you think? What's that? I can count them here. 15, 18 miles?
I'm trying to see where you're pointing.
Just right here at 37.
Oh, okay, there you go. I got you.
Moore Medical Center. How
Yeah.
far? How far is that?
About 8 miles.
About 8 miles. Yeah, okay. About 8 miles. All right, so Jim's right there. And all right, let's go back to Jim Gardner. Let's bring his shot in. He's looking right back at it here. And Jim, there you go. What do you think? Still a little ragged. Does not appear to be on the ground right now. Does not appear to be on the ground. At least not right now.
No, David, not right now. It's just, that's the front of the storm there, and then where the tornado was right back behind that, and we've been watching it in there, and I don't think anything's on the ground right now. And like I agree with Lacey and you, it's kind of turned a little more north. I am just on the west side of West
Bottom
Ivor
left.
Airport here, shooting back to the west, tracking this thing more of a northerly direction right now. But it's just in real heavy rain right there, David. And like I said, we ain't been able to see anything on the ground or not. So the thing that'll happen is if this keeps tracking into Moore, South Moore, then we'll have to start looking for power flashes. That's how we will determine if there is a tornado on the ground there, is by seeing power flashes off the ground. We haven't seen any of that yet. Jim Garpone live from Bob Mills, Scotty's 9, back to you.
Okay. All right, great job. Looking good. We'll see, and hopefully this will stay lifted as it moves into north and west sides of Norman and Moore. Okay, it's definitely going there. Let's go back to links 2, and this is the tornado right here, and it's not on the ground. It's still certainly there. It's certainly spinning as it's crossing the, and it's not on the ground. It's still certainly there. It's certainly spinning as it's crossing the river, okay, as it lifts off to the northeast, and it's muddy, it's messy. They got the rain wrapped in there. You can see all the rain wrapped in there in Jim's shot. Hey, Greg. Yes. Gardner, is his GPS updating? I just asking for a friend. Anyway, that's going to be moving off to the east-northeast. Okay? All right, let's go back to reflectivity on this. Let's talk about the storms down south. Tornado warning. Let's jump back south here. And look at the hook on this, folks. And let's come back south here. Look at the hook. Did Val work? Hey, south here. Look at the hook. Did Val work? Hey, Justin. Did Val leave that storm? Did he leave his storm?
No, there was a road closed, so he had to make a detour, but he's heading towards that storm in Dibble.
Okay. All right, yeah. Wow, he
So the circulation is now coming up towards Dibble, towards Winter Creek.
Yeah. Okay. All right, yeah. Make sure he gets off and starts to head back southeast here. Okay, yeah, he's got to get way south. Is that his plan? Yes. Okay. All right,
it's
so
becoming more organized in
yes,
just the
it
last
is.
5 minutes.
For sure. So you folks northwest of Laverty, you're going to be in the clear. It's going to be just to your northwest. There's a developing tornado now, and that's going to go to Dibble. You folks in Dibble, prepare for a possible tornado, damaging winds, and some large hail. What's their shear rate?
And JD's been watching that storm as well. He's to the south.
Is JD in the system?
Yeah, JD's been in the system.
Okay, let's go to JD now. Let's JD.
Yes,
He's
go to
looking off
JD.
to the north. And let's bring JD in here. Let's bring his shot in here. And, oh, yeah, that's definitely turning. JD, great shot. Are you looking back to the southwest? Now you're looking at the Dibble storm? Are you looking south? Shot. Are you looking back to the southwest? Now you're looking at the Dibble storm? Or are you looking southwest?
Yeah, I'm looking north, actually. I was in progress to get on the Rush Springs storm, and I just looked over and saw this thing going berserk. It is really, just took off all on its own. It's gotten really low. I saw a funnel with it, and I'm going to go ahead and try to get north towards Dibble and cut this thing off, and then we'll double back and hit the Rush Springs. But this thing looks to me like it could go tornado anytime, David. It's really wrapping up. I can hit the Rush Springs, but this thing looks to me like it could go tornado anytime, David. It's really wrapping up very quickly. Back to you.
No doubt about it. And you can see that in his shot. We'll get his shot back up here. It's still up, but he'll turn his camera around here, and you can see what he's looking at off to his north. And that is a very, very pronounced lowering. Okay, so let's go back to links 2. And again, we have a hook, developing tornado with that. We're about ready to drop a News 9 tornado warning on that. That's going to Dibble. You folks in Dibble, prepare for severe weather, which will include a tornado. Okay, then we have JD's in between these, and we have the other hook down here, and this has produced a tornado. And Tom Pastrano is closing in on that, and this has produced a tornado. And Tom Pastrano is closing in on that from the east, okay? I want to point out we have other storms down here between Maysville and Purdy. We're watching these still in that environment to produce severe weather and tornadoes. Watching these still in that environment to produce severe weather and tornadoes included. We're going to have to watch that. But look at Jim's shot. I mean, this thing, again, it's a UFO from outer space. Pardon me, it has all the layers, stacked pancakes. Yep, right there, all the way from the bottom up. And that storm is the one that's now coming into Moore and Norman. All right, so let's go back north now. Let's talk about one that's now coming into Moore and Norman. All right, so let's go back north now. Let's talk about Moore again and Norman here. Tornado warning continues for you. Circulation is tight. It does not appear to be on the ground right now, but it is spinning. And circulation now is going to be right here. Jeremy's right here. Let's get an update from Jeremy Carter. And Jeremy's going to be in West Norman. And Jeremy, what do you think? Looking right at it there. What do you think? I don't see it on the ground. And velocity data, it looks like it maybe has come down a little bit, maybe a little bit. Go ahead, give us an update as you look off to your west.
Yeah, David. So I'm watching this here, and I definitely can't see anything on the ground. The velocity has here, and I definitely can't see anything on the ground. The velocity has dropped. We're here in West Norman, keeping a close eye on this. Back to you.
All right, great job, Jeremy. So he's looking off to the west there. All right, let's get back to radar here. And this is going to be shear rate. It's crossing the river right now. This is going to be 72nd Avenue, and this is going to be Tecumseh Road. There's the developing tornado. If it's going to put down, it's going to be right there. And, okay, there's Franklin Road, Tecumseh, Franklin, Indian Hills Road. All right, okay, I-35. Right, little farther to the east, obviously. This is Norman Regional Hospital. Right? So here's the deal. Jim's right there. Developing tornado is right here. You can see the hook showing up on radar. And we'll get a storm track on this. But this is going to Norman. This is going, there it is right there. It's coming in. It's already in Norman. It's in West Norman right now. Okay, do we have Brandon in the system? Wells? Yeah. Okay, let's go to Brandon Wells, and let's bring his shot in. And Brandon, we have your shot up. Give us an update as you look back at that storm there. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, David. Well, right now we're going to be here at 60th Avenue Northwest here on West Tecumseh Road.
That's Brandon Wells'
the shot that you're looking at
room.
there to the northwest, and we don't really see any. I mean, it's buried behind the rain shaft there. We don't really have a visual on it just yet, but we're watching it very closely, David.
Okay, nice job. All right, so this is going to be looking at it from the west side of Norman. All right, let's go back to links. Let's go back to links 2. Circulation is going to be right here. That's where Brandon is. That's where Jeremy's located. And that's going to be headed up towards Indian Hills and Hayday and the northwest side of Norman. Okay, so here's Sooner Mall. You're fine. This is not going to hit you, okay? It did that, what we call, it kind of occluded a little bit and kind of lifted, kind of migrated to the north now. All right, so this is Max Westheimer Airport. That still looks good. You're fine. This is going to be northwest. This is going to be far northwest Norman, trying to make its way into South Moore.
And JD storm, the Dibble storm, is going tornado warned.
Okay. And JD is coming in from the south on that. Justin, is that the deal? JD's headed north? Justin?
Yeah, JD's heading north, and then Val's just on the north side of Dibble.
Okay, Val's on the north side of Dibble. On that, you can see, not on the ground, but definitely rotating for sure, okay? Definitely rotating. All right, so let's go. There we go. Links 2. And there's Val coming into that. We have 2 areas of spin now, and that's what Lacey was talking about here. 2 areas of spin. Dibble and also south of Winter Creek Country Club, 1, 2. All right, so we'll see. This might be the one that takes over, but we have another area of spin there, so we'll see. But this is a stronger area for sure. This is the one that we're really watching.
Yeah,
that
that's
Val
been taken over.
yeah, and so this is the first one. That's going to be the main one now, the second one. Okay, let's go to links. Let's stay with that. Let's go back to reflectivity.
Okay.
And let's come back to the city here. Come back to Moore, and let's talk about Norman. So tornado warnings continue. Right now we have, what, 3 tornado warnings going on?
We have 3, yes.
Okay. I see that shot. Who's that from? Tornado warnings going on?
We have 3, yes.
Okay. I see that shot. Who's that from? That's from Val. Okay, he's on that. Okay. Okay, so the circulation down in the Norman area, this, for now, this is weakened. It's still rotating. It's still there. It's still there, but it's not as tight as what it was. Tornado warning continues. If you live, let's say, between Norman Regional Healthplex, that's going to be Tecumseh Road, up I-35 to Hayday. This is going to be where the tornado is right here, but it's not quite as tight as what it was. Does it take just a few minutes to tighten up? Yes, that's all it takes, and to produce a tornado. But this is going to head northeast up towards Hayday, produce a tornado. But this is going to head northeast up towards Hayday, okay? And tornado warning. So lowest level, center part of the house, North Norman. And let's back out of this. This is going to be Broadmoor Elementary School. This is Moore, right? And this is going to move into south sides of Moore, and this will cross I-35. Right now, if it were to produce a tornado, it would not be a strong tornado. It would be what we've had so far today, and they've been fairly weak tornadoes, EF0s and EF1s, which is good. It's not great, but it's better than the alternative of stronger tornadoes. So far, we'll take a weaker tornado if it does happen. We've already had tornadoes, like I said, out of this. All right, so this is again coming into Moore, South Moore, and look at all the rain in here. Hard to pick out. You're just looking at reflectivity here. Looking at regular rain, you're like, I don't see anything in there.
Yeah, the hook lifted north, and it really got embedded very quickly in the core.
Yeah,
it's very hard to find.
Yeah.
Which is good.
It's in there. What does shear rate look like?
Shear rate's there. It's actually, it weakened a little bit, then it came back up.
Okay,
so
it did
there's
weaken.
still the rotation there.
Yeah, it's still there, but it did weaken a little bit.
Yeah,
There's
still the rotation there.
Yeah, it's still there, but it did weaken a little bit.
Yes, and it's very broad. And if you look at just the different velocity products, it's very hard to find a tight couplet.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. Man, Tom shot. Wow. Look. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. Man, Tom shot. Wow. Look at Tom shot.
Tom is southwest.
Yeah, he's on the southwest storm, right?
Yes, the one that went through Rush Springs.
Okay, let's go back to Tom,
way?
control room, and look at that.
Tom's near Ellick.
All right, Tom, give us an update. You're on that supercell, and you're down by Ellick and Bradley, pretty far down there, and looking off to your southwest. And Tom, that's impressive. Boy, that's a big, deep mesocyclone for sure. Give us an update. What do you think?
Yeah, David, very impressive. Looking at a rotating wall cloud, there's also some rising scud. You know, it very well could do something in the next few minutes. It's definitely rotating. It's probably not imminent at the moment, but, you know, there's definitely some rising scud right there. And, yeah, look at that. It's getting better organized as we speak. So, yeah, we definitely have to watch this. And I am just to the northwest of Bradley right now. And, oh, wow, look at that. There's a funnel coming down. So, yeah, David, back to you. We'll watch this.
Okay, Tom, is that behind that sign right there? Are you talking about right close to the sign that's in the foreground?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Okay, yep. Okay, well, Tom, if I'm looking. If anything gets nutty, say something. Let's see here. Yeah, zoom on in. Let's take a closer look. What do we see? Yeah, that's definitely tightening up.
There's really almost 3 areas of circulation with this storm. One just south of Ellick, one between Ellick and Agawam, and another one south of Rocky Ford.
Yeah, man, that's really tightening up right now. Okay. Okay, we'll come back to Tom, I promise you, here shortly, because that is tightening up. And that's going to be west-southwest of Bradley. Okay, that's tightening up from left to right, no doubt about it. This is swinging around. That's a little tag. That's not quite a funnel. That's a tag on the wall cloud, but that's lifting. These can turn into funnels if they start to tighten up, but right now that hasn't done it, but it's sure thinking about it.
And Val has a funnel.
All right, let's go to Val Castor. Let's bring Val in. And he is on the Dibble storm, we're going to call it. Val, go ahead. What do you think? Is that a funnel or a tag? What do you got there?
Yes. There has been 2 funnels with the storm. It's not super strong looking, but there's been 2 laminar funnels formed right out of that little lowered area right there. And, David, that's still going to be about 1.5 miles or so west of Dibble. I hear the tornado sirens are going off here, by the way, but there is rotation right there. I know it's not a humongous looking wall cloud, but that thing is rotating, and it's produced 2 funnels, 2 pretty much needle-looking funnels that came about a little more than halfway to the ground. A funnel was more than halfway to the ground twice. So that's what we're watching right now. Back to you.
Okay.
Funnel was more than halfway to the ground twice. So that's what we're watching right now. Back to you.
Okay. All right, Val, nice job. Let's see what this does here. That's going to be that Dibble storm. Let's go back to links 2 here. And so we have 1, 2, 3 tornado warnings right now. And look at the Norman storm. Wow, look at that shot there. No, I'm sorry, that's Tom's storm. That's the southern storm. Let's go back to Tom Pastrano, and let's get an update on that. The Moore Norman storm for now has weakened some. We'll check in with our trackers coming up. Tom, give us a quick update. That is lifting and slowly turning, it looks like. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, David, a moment ago we had the funnel 3/4 of the way to the ground. I wouldn't doubt if it was on the ground. I couldn't see any vortices, but wow, it was very impressive. It still continues to rotate. It's probably about to do something. I would say a tornado is imminent right now. You can see that funnel right there. It's a horizontal funnel, but it's not on the ground at the moment, but it is definitely imminent right now.
Okay, what's the motion here? Okay, that's pretty impressive. Okay. All right, this is going to really, really try hard. It's going to really, really try hard. It's what we call tail end Charlie. It's a storm down by itself. It's open to the humidity, to the warm, moist air, and this thing is breathing down here. We'll see if it doesn't ramp up. Okay, it's certainly going to try, and this is another tail cloud trying to come in. Okay, all right, let's go back to links. Wow, let's go back to links 2, and let's talk about Moore Norman again. Let's come back to the metro here.
Okay.
And again, you folks in Moore and Norman, tornado warning does continue. It's right here, and we're looking for anything. Where's Hank? Is Hank underneath all this right here?
Yes, so you can do it there. I can
all right,
zoom
let's
in,
go to
but he's
Hank.
right there.
Hank, you're right where you should be. It's just not as tight as what you had when you got hit by the weak tornado an hour and a half ago or so. So what do you think? The circulation is not as strong as what it was.
Well,
what do you think? The circulation is not as strong as what it was.
Well, so I'm down on Franklin Road in Western or Northwest 60th, and this wall cloud or this updraft is just outside of our windshield here. And what's happened is it looks like 2 storms have merged. Another storm caught up with this one. And what's happened is it looks like 2 storms have merged. Another storm caught up with this one, and it started to crash in from the southwest. And so a lot of times, we see that when that happens, that it produces another tornado. So I don't think this threat is over just yet. Like I say, we're at 60th and Franklin. I'm just on the west side of the mezzo. I'll have Patty turn the camera real quick and just show you. Sorry, the mirror's in the way. The rising motion that's coming off of that right there is the northwest side of the vault. So this thing is recycling here, and I don't think we're quite out of the woods yet for Northwest Norman and Southwest Moore. David, back to you.
All right, great job, Hank. Give me 1 second. All right. So, again, that's what's going on down in Moore Norman. This thing is still turning.
It is, and it's more localized, David. You can see it on radar.
Yeah, and see this right here? See how fast this is moving right here? Okay, hey, Greg, that's fine. That's fine. Well, I mean, yes. Okay.
The circulation's basically Franklin Road and in between 48th Northwest and 60th Northwest.
Yep. Let's go to links 2. Let's take it. Let's go to that exactly, and let's take a look at it here.
Ground.
All right, let's go back to Hank. Let's go to Hank. Give us an update. Hank, do you have it on the ground? This is going to be, what's your, yeah, he might have it there. Boy, it's wrapped in rain. Goodness.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tom.
I'm at 60th in Franklin. Brandon is at 48th in Franklin. We both just seen it touch down. So that area right there that I was showing you that was the northwest side of the vault right there, that's what just tornadoed. So you can see how it's pulling the, Patty, zoom in right there. You can see how it's pulling these wrapping rain curtains back around. So this is just on the north side of Franklin. So this is going to be between Franklin and Indian Hills Road and Western and Santa Fe is basically, or 60th and 48, depending if you live in Moore or Norman. So just to my northeast, I mean, you can see it. It almost looks like it's getting bigger and kind of building back towards us.